You have found the Lines College Football Podcast. My name is Steven Andress, managing editor at thelines.com. And as you can see, I'm flying solo this week. Our college football writer, Brett Gibbons, taking a well-deserved vacation. You can follow him on Twitter at Road to CFB, posting some pretty scenic shots of fall in New England, the autumn leaves. He's been checking out Maine and New Hampshire, and he loves the road trip. But on this show, we will go on with a mini episode for you, a couple of weeknight college football games for us to bet on, what I have added to my account in terms of bets, and then we'll be back with the full show next week. Before we get started, I want to let you know that you can subscribe and check out all the latest episodes here on our YouTube channel, not just with college football, but with the NFL. We have some World Cup stuff coming up here, NBA futures, and also expanded MLB playoff coverage for you as well with Eli Hershkovich and also the Coast to Coast crew with Josh, Nate, and Mo. So check that out on YouTube. And also an amazing new feature. If you go to the lines.com homepage, top right-hand corner, click on the Discord button. It is free to join at thelines.com. Accept that invite. And then once the screen opens up here, you're going to go under the roles server. And we have set up a system where you can be notified exactly when anybody on our staff makes a bet, no matter what the sport is. So you see down here, react to this message with the appropriate emoji to receive notifications from the Lines writers. And each of our writers are numbered. So all you have to do is click on these emojis. Number 1, number 2, number 3. So if you want to get Eli Hershkovich's bets, you hit number 2. John Hasselbauer's golf bets, number 3, and the rest of our staff there. Or you can hit all of them, get notifications for each. You're seeing this, the desktop version of Discord. But if you do this on the Discord app and click those notifications, enable notifications, every time anybody on our staff makes a bet, you will be notified immediately so you can get the best possible number available to make that bet before line movement later in the week. Great new feature that you guys should take advantage of. All right, let's get into the college football odds. Under the odds tab, you go to college football and hit the weekly college football lines. And as I mentioned, we're going to talk about a couple of weeknight games this week. And because of Hurricane Ian, we have a bit of a special treat with a Wednesday night matchup in the AAC, SMU at UCF. UCF a 2.5-point home favorite. This one Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN2. It is the first conference game between these two teams. Total sitting around, let me pull up the blended odds here for you. Total sitting in between 62 and 62.5, depending on where you get your odds for this one. ESPN FPI has UCF as about a 2.7 favorite on a neutral field. Again, this one at UCF, though. This game was moved from Saturday to Sunday, and then still with the infrastructure delays from the hurricane aftermath, delayed again to Wednesday night. So that's why we have this game. So no short rest situations, actually extended rest for the teams with the delay from the hurricane. As for the matchup on the field, when SMU has the ball, the Mustangs are 54th in EPA per play, but they're facing a Golden Knights defense that is 26th in EPA per play defense, and the success rate difference here is even more stark. SMU's offense is only 95th in success rate, and they're facing a top 10 defense in success rate. UCF is 7th in success rate defense. Flip over to when UCF has the ball. They are 87th in EPA per play. And SMU is 110th in EPA per play defense. So not a very strong defense, but a big mismatch here comes in the rushing defense category. SMU's rush defense is 114th in EPA per rush. They allowed 191 yards rushing to TCU, 221 yards rushing to Maryland in their past two games. And UCF comes in ranked top 30 in rush EPA. So really big advantage there on paper running the ball for the Knights. As far as pace, we mentioned the total 62.5. It's notable that both of these teams are top 10 in college football in plays per game. They're both averaging more than 81 plays per game. They scored 83 points in this matchup when they played each other last year. But UCF games, we mentioned how good their defense has been. This year, UCF's games have gone under the total in 3 straight games. And this, as we mentioned, the mismatch on paper for their defense against the SMU offense. I'd be hesitant to play the over here just based on pace, considering that we do have a stronger defense in UCF that looks like they're going to match up very well with the SMU offense. So the play for me in this one, UCF minus 2.5. This number looks like it's headed towards 3 towards kickoff. So hopefully if you can get it, if you miss the minus 2.5 before kickoff, maybe worth waiting for a live bet here. Maybe there's some early points for SMU or a stalled, honestly, like one punt or stalled drive for UCF early in the game. And this line should move back towards the 2.5 if this does close at 3 with what it looks like it's doing now. So for me, I'm going to bet UCF minus 2.5 against SMU. Friday night football for college. Houston at Memphis. We're going to stay in the American Conference. Memphis, a 3-point home favorite, total of 57.5. This one Friday night, 7:30 p.m. on ESPN2. FPI has Memphis 2.4 points better on a neutral field against Houston. But again, this one in the great state of Tennessee, home field for the Memphis Tigers. Memphis had won 5 straight games in this series before Houston got some revenge last year. Houston won the game 31-13 a year ago. As for the matchup this time around and what these two teams have done statistically, when Memphis has the ball, 33rd in EPA per play defense, Memphis 33rd in EPA per play offense versus the number 56 EPA per play defense for Houston. 22nd, though, in EPA per pass for the Tigers. That's how they move the ball well. That's how they move the ball efficiently and get chunk plays. It is through the passing game, through the air. So a top 25 passing offense for Memphis against a Houston defense that isn't terrible against the pass, but not quite as good in terms of EPA. Number 40 is where the Cougars check in there in EPA pass defense. When Houston has the ball, 63rd in EPA per play offense against the number 60 EPA per play defense for Memphis. So pretty even matchup there. Memphis should be very stout stopping the run, though, in this one. Memphis is 34th in EPA rush D, but 86th in pass D, whereas Houston is 53rd in rush offense and 72nd in EPA per pass. So honestly, kind of splitting hairs there. I think the bigger picture here overall for when Houston's offense is on the field is that this is a pretty even matchup. I think Memphis has the best unit on either side, offense versus defense, no matter who has the ball, with Memphis's passing offense being top 25. In terms of pace, both of these teams are above average. They rank in the mid-40s in plays per game. But overall, there's an element here outside the statistics that's making me lean towards Memphis on a live bet here if I can get them under that key number of 3. I'm not going to bet it pregame minus 3. I'm going to wait for a live bet here to see if I can get Memphis at minus 2.5 or better. But the unspoken element here is the Houston coaching staff. They made some questionable decisions this year. They struggled to beat Rice in overtime against a third-string quarterback in Tulane a week ago. First of all, they had to go to overtime. They lost the game to a third-string quarterback in Tulane. But they won the toss before overtime and took the ball instead of deferring and playing defense and knowing exactly what they need after Tulane has their first possession. I can't remember the last time I saw a team take the ball to start a college overtime. I thought it was a really dumb decision by Houston's coaching staff, and they've had issues with coaching and decisions at multiple times this year. Been unimpressive against weaker opponents. So if I can get Memphis under that key number of 3 on the live market, that's what I'm going to bet and trust this passing offense of the Tigers to exploit Houston and score enough points and move the ball to cover a small number here at home at the Liberty Bowl, where this one's going to be played for Memphis. All right, so that's our show for this week for the Lions College Football Podcast. Again, an abbreviated show. Brett Gibbons will be back next week when he's back from vacation. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let us know in the comments who you are betting on in college football week 6. And again, check out that Discord channel. It's pretty awesome. Just top right-hand corner, hit that Discord button, accept the invite. go to the Rolls server and just click the numbers of the guys on our staff that you want to get bets from and notifications from when we make a bet. Fully transparent on our staff. When we make a bet, when we talk about a bet, it is a bet that we've actually made and put into our account. None of this fake social media BS that you see out there when you're not sure if guys are actually making bets or not. So, but for me this week on college football, definitely betting UCF Wednesday night. Going to wait for a number better than 3 on Memphis if we can get it on the live market. And best of luck with your college football bets in week number 6.